This video is sponsored by Notion. So this is my 5-step system to achieving my goals as a content creator, solopreneur with a 9-to-5 job. I don't know how many others who are watching who also going through the same thing of working full-time and you also do a side hustle. Maybe it's content creation too, or like a side hustle, whatever it is you're doing. And I understand, at least for me, I struggle a lot with trying to manage both things because it is in fact almost like handling another job. So I created a system that I feel has been working well for me, and that's what I want to share with you today. And it's going to be on my favorite platform, Notion. So for full disclaimer, I understand Notion is sponsoring today's video, but for context, I have been using Notion and I've been a big fan of it since 2019. I've been using my school class projects there, job applications, my second brain, any notes from personal to professional. So I was just really happy that this was a natural sponsorship opportunity between me and Notion since I love their product already. So now I'll just share my screen and let's jump into the actual video. So hey everyone, welcome to my Notion dashboard. And for those who don't know what Notion is essentially like this easy to use platform to help bring any goals or thoughts into reality. And I've been using it for a lot of things, but this is a look of what I've been doing to manage my yearly to monthly to weekly goals for myself. And this first step is actually going to be some pre-work. So going down on the bottom, I've been doing this since probably 2019, 2020, and I would do a quick recap of my year prior. You don't have to do this. I think you can even do this on a bi-yearly, every 6 months, bi-weekly, by every quarter or whatnot, whatever it is. I think it's a good thing to reflect. But if you can see here, I would ask myself questions and it would iterate over the years of the things that I liked and whatnot. And most recently, at least for 2023, I would do like notes of currently where I am, a bullet point list of everything that's happened, and at least the questions that I would first ask myself is for each of these sections, from health to fitness to money and finances, was what went well, what didn't go so well, what did you learn, what will you want to focus on next year or want to happen, and how will you get there. So I think even just, although I'm always on the hunt to continuing to try to like improve my systems for better managing everything, even just having a log, it feels like a journal for myself personally. So that's why I just like to keep it, and seeing how you progress over the years is pretty fun too. And then at least the last thing before within this pre-work section to understand where you currently are or where have you been is main aspirations for next year, whatever those are, and actionable steps with it. So just kind of like very high level things that you're thinking about. And that is kind of like the first step to this step 1 pre-work. I know it's a little confusing. And then the second step is, so if you're in the same boat as me of you have a full-time job, I work 9 to 5 and do content creation afterwards, is really knowing when is the most ideal time for you to work. For example, I know I have other content creator friends, they are morning birds, but I realized for myself, I just gave up on being a morning bird. That is just not my style. I feel like I have cement in my eyes in the morning. So I really think just finding that time that works for you, as long as you feel consistent and it's something that you can stick to. It doesn't matter if you're working at 6 in the morning or 10 p.m. at night, as long as it works. So for me personally, Monday to Friday is like my corporate work job stuff. I actually end work at 4 p.m. but immediately when 4 p.m. hits, from 4 to 6 p.m. is my side content solopreneur work block. So I would maybe take a quick break, just get some water, but I would immediately go in with the intention of doing my content stuff, maybe scripting, filming, whatever it is. Because I feel like if I did take more than say a 30-minute break, I just lose momentum, and mentally knowing that I will be done with all work by 6 just like helps me retain more of that work-life balance too. Definitely, I wish I could dedicate more time, more than 2 hours, but it's not about how much time you can get all in at once, but whatever time is most sustainable. So that is step 1 of reflecting and also figuring out what time and schedule works best for you. And now moving on to step 2 is finally going and planning your yearly goals and your work log. So there's a lot of different ways other people have done this. I've definitely taken inspiration from other creators, but generally the thing that I've seen, I kind of pick and choose, was having a word for this year, and mine is focus. Focus is something that I struggle with. I think a large challenge of it is wanting to do so many things but not knowing what to delegate first. So having the definition there, being focus being the state or quality of having or producing clear mental definition, being the center of interest or activity. And also on the bottom, like this is going to be a dashboard that I refer back to often. Any quotes that kind of stick in my mind, I also added in as well. For example, there is no world, there's only 6 billion understandings of it, and if you can change one, then you are a leader. stronger. Or the second thing I've heard is, why would you have any belief about yourself that doesn't make you stronger? It's hard to do all this stuff on your own. No one's telling you to do your side hustle, do your content creation. No one's forcing you to do these things. So having those quotes at least encourage me to keep going and kind of keep that mental momentum going too. So after that, I made this table. I'll just do like one more so you could see how to do it. So like I made another, for example, if you do / table and create a table view. So I already made a new, since I already made it above here, but then if you are starting from scratch, you can just do a new database and create it. But to go back, let's delete this guy. I would go in and create all the goals that I have in my mind so far. So I already took like the past 2 days or so to list out everything that I want to do. And it ranges from things like getting my driver's license to other personal stuff like Project Stealth Flow or creating a new portfolio site, creating digital products, as you can see here. It would have the description and even breaking that down into quarters. And something that I want to share is is going to be an integral step for step 3 or step 4 is it's also the type of thing that it is. So all these, I already filtered it out here to be by goal instead of action. So there's 2 different filters. And at least from here, as an overview, it gives me a list of all the goals that I want to achieve this year. For example, let's just start a new one. So this is already as a goal. I'll maybe do this as I'll create a new one of, let's see, learn horseback riding, since my best friend does that. And I'll say the priority for this, I think overall for the year, I keep in mind what are the absolute top 3 things that I want to accomplish that if nothing else besides those top 3 get accomplished, that I would be satisfied. Horseback riding is more kind of like a side hobby type of thing, so I'll say it as a low priority. Description, I'll say learning from Catherine, who is a very good friend of mine, and yeah, just I think that's good enough. Even if it's vague, that's fine. I think by which quarter I want to do it to, maybe by quarter 2, or maybe it could be a summer thing. So I'll say like quarter 3. Maybe a date if I had that specified. I don't really have that yet. A month and even larger goal themes. So anyways, whatever goals that I had, I would just already listed out already. And so far, it's currently February, but things I did accomplish so far, I did purchase my first property here in New York, which I'm super proud to do. So I listed that as Q1. It's listed as done. The second thing was I was able to be a guest speaker for UX Master's program in San Francisco about 2 weeks ago. So I flew to California for that. And I would do another page and listing out really any details. So going over here, it has all the details on that already. And then same kind of sense of listing out the details of what's your motivation, visualization. I already made a template for this to kind of recur the same type of, step by step of what I want for each goal. And for each major goal, remember before I said I segregated it by either goal or action, all these supporting actions I would list out here, and then it would be for the goal of whatever that thing is in this modal thing. I'll list out the quarter of what I'd want to do it for. And for example, although I already done this, I'll make another one of I'll say do dry run, right? It's for UX Masters guest speaking. That's good. Priority, I'll say, it's not too integral, but just to fill it out. Still definitely quarter 1. By date, it was on 26. So I'll just do that in the morning, pretend that it's there, and that'll be my thing. So since I already did that, I marked it as done, and everything else updates if say I go into this thing. So now that you have all your supporting things, also you could see here I segregated further into all my goals. This is all the supporting actions across every single goal, as you can see here. But going back to this then leads to step 3 of having your yearly goals and then segregating that into each different quarters. So scrolling back up to the top, this is also a toggle. I think it's easy to always remember the wins as you go through them, and you can kind of reflect back on them at the end of the year. I still have yet to do I could just do it now, of say Q3. I'll just put that there as a placeholder, say whatever months that are. I can't think on top of my head, but since we're currently in quarter 1, I already made a page for that. And for here, I integrated the past database. So again, if I were to do a table view, I link that past 2024 goals that you've seen on the previous page, but then I just did a filter to only show the goals for that quarter, this quarter for Q1. So I love how simplistic this all is. So I love how simplistic and visual this all is. I can see not started, in progress, done of what's already completed. It reflects back into the main spreadsheet on the previous page. And then personally for me, I think a large part of managing both your side stuff, managing yourself, is really understanding how you like to work, because this layout that I've done is really working well for me, but I understand it might not work for everyone else. But at least for me, the way that I kind of like to visualize things or think throughout things is I want to see an overview of what this quarter entails. I think that quarter is specific enough to be focused for that, first 3-4 months or so, but broad enough so where I can get an overview of what's going on. So if this is the overview, then the second section is now delegating that into many supporting actions for those goals. And now this is step 4 for creating those actions to support those goals. I understand this might look very intimidating, so let's try something in real life, as this is one of the goals that I'm trying to do. So for example, if I'm going here, this is all real time by the way, I really want to try creating my first set of digital products. So if I click onto this, all the details are here. I already made a template for this goal, so it's like the same format as the previous ones. And for example, I have no idea of how to even go about this. So I know Notion came up with a new feature called Notion AI, which is this little guy here. And I'm really not too familiar with how to even go about creating my first digital product. So I think what's really cool is if I click this, I'll be like, I can say something along the lines of, I'm a tech UX YouTuber, I'll say that, who made a lot of content. I know it's a little wordy, but to read out, this is again totally in real time. We're kind of working on this together in real time. I'm a tech UX YouTuber who made many videos about UX design within Notion. I script everything in Notion, and I'm thinking about creating my first set of digital products for purchase that are related to my niche of UX design. Based on what topics of YouTube videos that I've created, can you give me some suggestions of what I can sell as digital products? So let's see what they say. So let's see what they go out there. So based on these video topics you've created, here are some digital product ideas. First is a detailed guide or ebook on transitioning into UX design from another career based on your personal experience and challenges. Okay, I see also now here that what's cool is it already links to past stuff that the data I already put into Notion. Since I've been scripting in Notion since 2021, that's when I started doing YouTube in Notion. It's been, 2-3 years of data that's just sitting in Notion that Notion AI and Notion Q&A have been using to create these suggestions, which I think is super cool. And I know other machine learning models don't do this. It's more generalized information. So I think ebook, course or webinar of what to expect or prepare for a business designer for beginners, personal mentorship or consultation. I think this is interesting. I also see how it links out to all the other sources, which is nice, but I'm curious what else it can go out. Like, can you give me a few more recommendations? Digital toolkit for aspiring UX designers. Recommended digital toolkit, that's cool. Series of case studies or project walkthroughs. Course on okay, set of Q&A videos. Template for UX documentation. Okay, so I think, let's see. I like the idea of an ebook. I just poked Notion more to see what else can happen. But I think a detailed guide or ebook on transitioning seems to resonate with me most. But since you can also see what's recommending, if there's anything that sticks out to you as well, let me know down in the comments so I can consider that for digital product stuff. But I'm gonna go with this detailed guide or ebook on transitioning. Okay, so taking idea 1, can you give me some step-by-step actions to achieve, wrong one. Okay, this is cool. So now what I'm gonna do is create my first set of digital products. I think I'll just note here that I wanna try creating an ebook, creating a pasting that, a detailed guide. Okay, and now it says, just to be easy, I'll copy paste this. Oops, identify the purpose. Okay, your ebook should reflect your personal journey and the lessons you've learned along the way. Right, that's nice. So I'll just list that here as well. But if then an ebook is one of the things I can work on to produce a digital product, then what I'm going to do is create a new action. And I think this is going to be maybe a supporting action number 1 of 6. So making a new one, not started action, will be identify the purpose of ebook, date placeholder, I'll be digital products. Priority, I think I could skip that. I can definitely do that in Q1. And also the other thing is slightly moving on to step 4, but staying on step 3 is having an estimate of how long it's going to take. So I definitely think first breaking whatever goal you have into steps, very easy, tangible steps. And then with that, having an estimate of how long it's going to take helps me manage my stuff a lot. So as I said before, I work in that 2-hour block immediately after my corporate job ends. And if you see here, I created a new segment called day. So day in this context for me means actually just those 2 hours. One day would be like 2 hours for Monday, 2 hours for Wednesday, whatever it is. And 0.25 hours would be like actually 30 minutes. Like a quarter of a day in this context would be 30 minutes for me. So I think identifying the purpose of the book, that'll probably take me like 30 minutes or so. So I'll do like, a quarter of a day. I think I'll also list this out like step 1, and then also do step 2. What was it? Outline the content. Okay, cool. Understand that. Oh, let me take the description of this and put that in as well. I'll open that, paste, nice. To outline the content, creative, going that here, outlining the content. I'll open this, paste those details there. Same thing of like replacing the goal with, say, digital products, so it can have like a nice filter. 3 is research, actually. Outlining the content, I actually think it's part of research, so I'm gonna adjust that a little bit. The thing I really like about this Q&A thing is because like it's taking all the data I already put in with my past videos, so it's like really a personalized assistant rather than a generalized AI model that gives you more vague information. But this feels this Notion Q&A feels like a very personalized assistant to me using data that I already put in, and it feels so much more dynamic. So let's do that. I'll do next one. So let me finish writing these things down. Okay, so I did adjust this a little bit, and let's see, copying that last thing, open, pasting that here. Okay, cool. So well, let me know what you guys think about this thing. But then too, the other thing was going the day estimate. I think outlining might take a full day or so. Actually might maybe 2 days. Design and layout, I guess I'll give myself design, layout. I'll do design and editing or reviewing. I'll give myself like 4 days for that. Publish and promote, I guess that'll take maybe 5 days. And the thing is, the thing that's really nice is at least for these goals at least for that ebook, there's a sum of 11.5. So it's going to be almost 12 days. So almost 2 to 3 weeks of work if I were to fully dedicate towards this, which is almost about a month. And with this, so say for example, identifying the purpose of it, if this is like something I really want to work on, then I can put like a date on it of I can do this, say between, let's try as a brainstorm, let's try the 12th. Yeah, let's try the 12th. And then doing an outline, let's do the 13th. Research, I feel like that might take longer, so that could be the 19th to the 24th. Design, publishing, that could be say 25th to the 1st. And then publishing, that can be say March 4th. So let's say that. Okay, so that was step 3 of if you have these goals of, for example, first digital products, creating all the supporting actions or whatever else you think of, and then you can easily mark it as in progress, done, and then everything is nicely tracked. But let's redo that. And now from that goal, going back into 2024 goals, here, gonna go back to Q1, January to March. Everything is updated with the supporting actions that we just put in. So I'm gonna go back, and now going into the Q1 dashboard is the final step of delegating that into a week or even days. So at least for Q1, all the supporting actions across all these goals, I made a filter to have an overview of all the actions you can see for this quarter. For example, even here, I already did this. I segregated that into week, but even today of making this video, ask Q&A for suggestions. Maybe it'll take 30 minutes. I think that's fine. I'll list that as done. Also for today, February 10th, doing that what Notion says. Deep dive from Notion suggestion. I did ask follow-up questions. Notion planner template is something that I'm also considering. And right, these are all like listed for which larger goal do I have, how many days, what the priority is, which quarter, and everything is listed out nicely for me to check off for this day. And the thing is, since I already completed 2 of these yesterday or a few actions yesterday, I try not to, have in a given week have more than the sum of this be more than say 5. But say for example, these 2 things I didn't complete yet, then I can just change the date instead of today, February 10th, to be instead on the 12th. I'll change this to, let's do that to 12th too, since I didn't get to that. No end time, 12th. And then instead of this week to do, if I change it to say next week, those things that we just tabled are now within this view of the board. But I think it's just so dynamic using the Q&A, seeing how that tracks back into my all actions for this quarter really helps me delegate what to do. And even having the time estimate, then taking these actions, I will go back into my G calendar, and from 4 to 6, I would immediately see, well, if this is going to take like a quarter of a day or 30 minutes, then I will just block out a time on my Gcalc to do that. So let me go back. But overall, this is my Notion dashboard to track my yearly goals and create my work log. I know it's definitely not perfect. There's so many different things. I think, you know, with time and knowing how I work through this throughout the months, there might be hiccups that I need to revise in the future. But overall, I think just having this system is definitely helping me just manage everything on top of my corporate job. And definitely having Notion AI and the Q&A has been very helpful for me to sort of speed up that process, especially when I'm trying to build out new things. So overall, I definitely think Notion is a great way to plan whatever goals that you have for this year. You definitely don't need to do the reflection or anything right at the end of December or January. I think just having the overall idea of a reflection is gaining some sort of benchmark of where you currently are. And overall, I mean, I think it's just a very dynamic tool that has definitely helped me as a content creator with my 9-to-5. So if you'd like, especially with this Q&A feature, Q&A is included in all existing Notion AI subscriptions, and you can get started with Notion AI for about $10 a month. Or if you're already a Notion AI user, you can get started today too with Q&A already in your Notion workspace. So if you are interested in trying it out, do feel free to click the link in my bio to get on the waitlist or to get started, which I'll put in the description box down below. I know building this out is also very cumbersome. I think it's very tailored to that specific person. So I am also offering a template that's available for download if you want to try this out on your own, and that'll be in the description box as well. So that's going to be all for this video. Let me know if you're also working a corporate job but also have a side hustle on the side. I'm very curious to hear what everyone else is doing, and if you have any questions about this, if you have questions about my Notion template, feel free to let me know. Also, Notion AI Q&A is available, so feel free to click my link in the description box for you to get access as well. I think it's a super helpful tool. $10 a month. It's like an executive assistant that already uses data personalized to you to give you suggestions and help you find answers. So I will leave all the details in the description box down below. But nonetheless, thank you for watching. Feel free to follow me on Instagram at SHARONKIM. Let me know if you have any comments or questions down below, and until next time.